If the General Conference adopts the constitutional amendments, the next thing that would happen with the constitutional amendments is they would be ratified in the annual conference. They first require being adopted by a 2/3 majority at General Conference, and then in the annual conferences by a 2/3 aggregate majority. That means that every person voting in the annual conferences has a vote, and all of those are put together and they are certified by the Council of Bishops. So that would be the next step that would happen. I would not anticipate that those would happen in 2024 in the jurisdictions, because that is a very quick turnaround for the adoption or ratification of constitutional amendments. So I would anticipate that being in 2025, but there might be some places in central conferences where they are would be voted on in the next winter and into the spring. So that would be that process. There are some things that are dependent upon ratification. So some of the non-disciplinary proposals and petitions, which are, if they are passed by just a simple majority, don't require the 2/3, but they still would not take place unless they are dependent upon ratification. However, there is one area that would be able to pass by that majority vote only, and that is the part of the original U.S. RC, the U.S. as a regional conference legislation, that would have set up an interim committee for working on legislation that's U.S. specific. That would not be subjected to the constitutional ratification. So that could go ahead and happen as soon as the end of General Conference, and there's a process outlined in the legislation for how that would happen. Obviously, if the constitutional amendments are passed and then go for ratification, there'll need to be an education process. I really think that delegates are beginning to understand what regionalization might mean, but this would require everyone in the annual conferences to have that same understanding. So there's going to be some education that would have to happen in order for people to make a decision on whether the constitutional amendments should be passed.